Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We are in episode 3 of plateau busting. And this one, Adam, is really big. I probably have this conversation with almost every client, but it's about the total amount of fiber. It's about counting your vegetables, maybe even weighing them, even something down to salad, lettuce. And it just matters. We've talked a lot about those hidden calories in our first couple episodes. But this is probably the biggest area that is extremely predictable. So not only is fiber not free, and we can get into the digestive qualities of fiber that make that so, but it's stuff that can just sneak in. And as people try and eat more volume, the whole study of volumetrics to feel full, even though those have less calorie density, they are still calories.
Yeah, this one I'm huge on because how many times do clients say, I really needed to eat something, and they went to a salad and they had, 20 grams of carbs over? People sometimes mythically think that this is free. And if you go back to our Mythbusters series, you'll see this. But fiber actually is converted to fatty acids through the hepatic portal. So you do need to track it. So we can get that out of the way. And then the next thing is, like, just with food selection, if you do feel like you need to overeat, a fiber or salad doesn't make it free, you could have something you want, whether it be like maybe 2 rice cakes just to tie you over, a little bit of protein, get a little bit more sustainment out of that meal. And that might be a better option. But we see time and time again, people lean towards, well, I had some extra veggies, because they just have a good food, bad food mentality. And this is why I'm huge on talking about this, so we can kind of break that.
Yeah, so you bring up a really good point that sometimes when you think you need some food, you're hungry, maybe even feel hypoglycemic, you turn to those vegetables thinking this is going to sustain me. And because they truly are low glycemic, and you may not actually get the benefit of those carbs or those calories, but then, as you mentioned, it gets down into the large intestine a day later, 18 to 24 hours later, and then the undigestible carbohydrates, the oligosaccharide, ends up getting broken down by anaerobic bacteria. As you said, fat is the result, and then it gets taken back into the bloodstream. So those calories you actually consumed, but you didn't really get the benefit when you needed it. So something as simple, I've noticed this, as a rice cake, or even a couple little tiny pretzels, you get 2 or 3 grams of carbs. All of a sudden, it's like somebody turns the lights back on, in terms of blood sugar, and you feel like, okay, now I can make it to that next meal. And it's just, it also kind of wreaks havoc sometimes on your GI system. Obviously, too much fiber is too much fiber. But it's at least notable that these things should be tracked like any other food and counted as a carbohydrate, because those calories are real.
Yeah, I still blame Weight Watchers pretty heavily for making this. This has been a myth we've been fighting for the past, 2 decades, and it still won't die.
So you brought up a good point. They still count these as free, like you don't even have any points attributed to them.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how their system works now compared to probably 20 some years ago when I looked at it.
Yeah, it's not as big as it used to be, but it's still somewhat relevant, it seems, today.
And there's another place where fiber is sometimes hidden. We're going to hit this in the next episode, but there are a lot of foods that almost you would consider them to be free, or at least very, very low carb. There's a big part of the diet industry in terms of food where they use exotic fiber, maybe even soy flour, things like that, to try and reduce the overall carb content. You end up with an awful lot of fiber in that. And again, that still is a calorie base, even though they may count them as net carbs being reduced. And they end up really messing up your GI system more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll chat about that next. Adam, I'll see you next time, and we'll see you guys for the 4th episode.